To unpack this for us, we now speak to political analyst Thamsanqa Malinga, and he joins us via our phone line. Thamsanqa, thank you so much for joining us here on the late edition. Perhaps let's start off with your reaction to the dismissal of the Supreme Court of Appeal to have the ANC appeal that matter.
Good evening, Bali, and good evening to the viewers. With one thing with this, it's a victory for the DA in terms of, one, it gives them this opportunity to, one, resuscitate the issue of the state capture going to the elections. It gives them this opportunity to, one, position themselves as a clean party, and they keep this narrative of the state capture going into, the period when the IEC is going to open up, the campaigning period. So they are going to now say, we are the clean party. Look at the ANC. It's still embroiled in the issues of the state capture. They are the party that brought up, they are the party that, brought us the state capture. They are the party that brought us Jacob Zuma, because they are still the party that is still pursuing Jacob Zuma. He is still the hoodoo of the South Africa, of the South African state. So they are now, positioning themselves as that clean party. And also they are the party that is able to say, President Cyril Ramaphosa is the one person that is presiding over a very corrupt government. Is the one person that presided over a state that brought us all these corrupt individuals.
Certainly. And Thamsanqa, when you look at this ruling, and you particularly point out the fact that we are just a few months away from the 2024 elections, very important there is the fact that President Cyril Ramaphosa was indeed the chairperson of that Cadre deployment committee. Going into the elections, surely this information will be quite damaging as the ANC campaigns to try to win the elections in 2024.
Yeah, very much to the point. It says, to its best, Cadre deployment has continued and to be a disorganized and a disorganized process, to be a process that is being used to dish out favors and to dish out largesse, and that continues. It was a process basically that was used to dish out largesse that, in the long run, would need to be paid back. Something that to be dish out favors that would need to be paid back. I once wrote an article, to say, the Zondo Commission has exposed the ANC to a larger extent. Remember when the ANC was broke, and Isma Hashule at the time, who was the Secretary General, had said, our donors are now afraid to come forward and donate to the ANC. I wrote an article to say that the ANC, the Zondo Commission, has exposed the ANC for what it is, because if the donors are afraid to come forward to donate to the ANC, then it means that those donors, there is something wrong with those donors, because if they are now afraid to donate to the ANC, it means that those donors were not legit donors. They're donors that now are afraid to being exposed at the Zondo Commission. So it now, you now had to sit down and say those donors were not legit donors, because at some point in time, it means they had to come and account, they would be exposed to the Zondo Commission. The same with the guys who were deployed by the deployment committee. It means that those guys at some point in time had to come and repay back those favors.
Yeah, and Thamsanqa, we know that the ANC has been given 5 days to hand over those records to the DA. Do you think that this is something that they will actually do? I mean, the last time they said that they will appeal the matter. Do you think that there is room for them to take this matter to the highest court in the land, especially when you look at what Chief Justice Raymond Zondo said, that the Cadre deployment is unconstitutional?
Yeah, it's something that, because this is a political game. Well, because the Chief Justice, at the time he was the chairperson of the commission, had said it is unconstitutional. This is a political game. He said that as the chairperson of the commission, the ANC has this is the only option that they've got to take. They've got to take it to the Concord to say, you know what, in this instance, he's not going to take a sole decision. There are other justices who've got to work with him to take a decision. So they've got to explore that option to say, you know what, in this instance, the Chief Justice is not going to be the one who's going to take a sole decision. It's going to be a full bench. So let's try to explore that option, because if we don't explore that option and say we've got 5 days and then we've got to say we give the DA this information, we are now playing into their hands, and this information can be damaging to us. So let's rather explore that and play with time, So this is the only option that they've got. Play with time and see what comes out of it.
And one would ask, when it comes to transparency, surely this shows how important transparency is, especially, when parties, choose public representatives for the public.
Well, transparency is something that we might say it needs to happen because this is the right thing to do. But when it comes to politics, you've got to weigh what's in the best interest. Politicians say something and do something else. They will talk transparency, but when it comes to the thick of things, they will choose that. They will choose another option. Definitely, they will choose another option. They will say, yes, we want to be transparent, but at the end of the day, they will choose what's in the interest of their party.
All right, then, Thamsanqa, thank you so much for your time and your insight in that Cadre deployment ruling by the Supreme Court of Appeal. That is Thamsanqa Malinga, political analyst.